Oh, hello. Can I help you? Oh, you're Keith and Carol. Oh, you guys are my 2 o'clock. Okay. Did you guys find the place all right? Yeah? Okay, well, welcome to Dream Travel. I'll be your travel agent today. My name is Grock. How are you two doing? Great. Did you get coffee? There's coffee in the lobby if you guys want to. Oh, you guys are good? Okay, you guys are really good morning people. Yeah, alright. Okay, so first things first, did you guys bring your passports? You did? Great, I'll take those. Yours as well. Okay, yes, so we're gonna need these. So what's the situation here with you guys? You guys are looking to book a vacation. You guys have a window of a vacation you can both take. And what exact months are we looking at? Okay, so March, April, or May of next year. All right. Do you have any idea what kind of trip you guys want? No, not really. Would you guys like a hot trip? Or are you guys looking to relax? Maybe do some adventuring? Okay. Okay, so a little bit of both. Is there anything in particular you guys want to see or do? Like maybe you guys want to enjoy some adventures with wildlife, the local wildlife, or maybe you guys want to adventure off and see like old monuments, temples, and such. Okay, that really appeals to you. All right. So the days you guys given me, or the months you have given me rather, really is quite a big window because that's a shoulder season for a lot of places, especially for us being in North America. How long did you say? 10 days? Okay, so that kind of narrows our options. I would like to recommend Southeast Asia. Hear me out on this. It's extremely expensive to get to, but it's cheap once you get there. What kind of budget are we looking at here? Okay, so let's start a budget here. Is that set? $5,000. Okay. Ideally, that's the most you want to pay. What exactly are you? Around 4,000. Okay, so our options now are getting a little more realistic. So I don't think Southeast Asia would work because the flights to Southeast Asia, we're looking at probably Bangkok, are going to cost you about 1,800 to 2,000 each return. Another thing about this is your timeline. 10 days is not, in my opinion, ideal to properly do Southeast Asia. Because when you're doing Southeast Asia, you're going to want to do the 4 countries, Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia, and Laos. They're all very, very close to each other. And yeah, so to do it properly, you really want to see all 4 countries. And like I said, they're all very small countries, and they're all like right next to one another. You're Canadian, so you could probably fit all 4 of them into our smallest province. The best way to get around is train. The reason why I'm not so keen on this trip for you guys is the timeline. 10 days I don't think will be enough time. For the flights, your flights, I think, let me just take a look. Your flights are going to be pretty excessive. So Winnipeg, Bangkok. Yeah, so the quickest flight I can get you guys on is 18 hours, and that's 4 stops. So what this does is it cuts into obviously your 10 days, and it also will, you have to consider trips like this. You have to recover from jet lag. You will be jet lagged, and it can really mess up your trip. You'll feel like shit. Excuse me for saying, for at least 2 days. And again, that gets into your trip, right? It's not something you guys really were interested in anyway. Okay. Something to keep in mind, though, in the future, if you guys get a bit longer, there's a lot of beauty in Southeast Asia. Vietnam is my personal favorite. The views there are breathtaking. Yeah, okay, so can I interest you guys in the Hawaiian Islands? No, you don't really? Okay. I was going to say there's a lot of adventure. You can go on there, just the two of you. And Kauai in particular is beautiful, and a lot of hiking, a lot of adventure stuff. Young folks like yourself would like. Quadding, sea doing, snorkeling with turtles, cave exploring, plantation visiting, things like that nature. No, okay. Should we be looking in South America, maybe? Dominican Republic, Cuba, Costa Rica? No, they're not interested in that as well. Okay, so we're gonna have to be looking east. East of Canada, in Europe, Great Britain. These countries are actually really cheap. And in these shoulder seasons of March, April, May, it literally jumps up almost double the price. June, July, August. My recommendation would be we should be looking at May if we're going to go look at these locations. Because the weather in May and everything in May is basically the same as it is in June. Yeah. Okay, so let's go with the first. Iceland. Have you guys thought of Iceland? No? Okay. Iceland is, again, adventure island. You're not going to see much old in terms of structures. There are ancient waterfalls there that ties back to Viking lore. It's got a lot of Viking history there. Yeah, you can see old settlements and whatnot, and a lot of old sacred grounds and this and that. But the big appeal with Iceland is you can drive it. You don't need an international driver's license. It's just like driving in North America, same rules. It's got one road that goes around the entire island. You can't get lost. You start in one area of the road, you'll end up in that area of the road if you just keep following it, and then the whole thing is marked with big yellow posts the entire way. I think you could drive the whole thing in one shot in 2 days, but if you're in a tour property, you can do it in 5. This actually works out perfectly with your timeline of 10 days. And it's not that much you're not going to get jet lagged or anything. It's only maybe 3.5, 4 hours away from Newfoundland. Yeah, it's very, very close. Hot springs, a lot of hot springs, a lot of nice hikes, a lot of breathtaking views. You're not going to see views like you're going to see in Iceland. And I think the volcano is still active. Let me just check for you guys. Yes, so this volcano is still active. That's something to see as well. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. We actually went to Iceland, my fiance and myself, last September, and it was beautiful. Yeah. So, Great Britain, European countries, their shoulder seasons are March, April, May, and September, October, November. You don't want to go into the countries in those other seasons. It's cold and miserable like it is here, so, yeah. Okay. Not something you guys are interested in. You guys want to really explore old things. Okay. So we should be looking at Great Britain. I would like to say Europe, maybe. You won't be able to explore too much Europe in 10 days, unfortunately. Even if with the train system, you guys would be in a rush a lot. I think what I want to look at with you guys is I want you guys to be able to tour yourselves. So, in saying that, Great Britain or Ireland. Great Britain in a 10-day window. You guys could do England, you guys could do Scotland. I'd recommend those 2 countries. Skip Wales. You're not going to miss much in Wales. A lot of wind. Lots of castles, though, if you want to tour castles. I think Wales has the most in all of Great Britain. But, yeah, very miserable weather, very windy. I was in a car there, like 5 years ago now. And I remember I was gassing up at a gas station, and the wind was so bad. As I was gassing up, a bird flew and smacked into the gas station and died. I was like, what the heck is this weather? So yeah, there is that, but lots to see in England and lots to see in Scotland, obviously. Uh, the English and Scottish empires and all their castles and monuments, it's known worldwide. You guys want to talk about seeing old things? In England alone, you can see Big Ben, the Tower of London, Buckingham Palace, you got Windsor Castle nearby, Balmoral is in Scotland. Up in Scotland, you got Edinburgh Castle, you got Stirling Castle. You go up north further, you're in the Highlands. You take that ferry over, and you're in the Isle of Skye, one of the most breathtaking places in the world. You'll feel like you're in Middle Earth and Lord of the Rings. Yeah, it's very nice. Now, before we settle on this, can I sell you guys on Ireland? Okay, so Ireland in 10 days, you guys will absolutely be able to achieve what you want. You'll be able to see everything. There's old things to see there. There's really fun things for youthful people like yourselves to do there, and there's also breathtaking views. Ireland is one of my top 5 favorite places I've ever traveled to. Let me tell you why. They have the most pubs per capita in anywhere else in the world. In terms of a country, every little town you go to, there'll be pubs. You guys like drinks? Okay. You guys like beers? You guys like Irish beer? Okay. You guys like Guinness? You don't really like Guinness? You ever try black coffee? If you drink Guinness in Ireland, it'll change the way you view Guinness. It become my favorite beer on tap after we traveled there last. Yeah, it's delicious. There's lots to do there, man. There's lots to see. Man, just in Dublin alone, there's a ton. There's the Temple Bar District. You got the Jameson Brewery. You got the Guinness Museum. You have Trinity College. You have the Long Room just outside. You have Newgrange and Glendalough. This is just Dublin we're talking about. Obviously in Belfast, there's a lot around there. Do you guys watch Game of Thrones? Of course, right? A lot of Game of Thrones was filmed in Ireland, and a lot of the locations are free for visitors to go and see. Yeah, exactly. Where they filmed the very first episode in Winterfell, you can go there. The bridge where Jaime and Brienne fight is also there. The King's Road, where they filmed all of the scenes of them traveling on that King Road with all those trees, the Dark Hedges it's called. There's national wonders there, world wonders. You have Giant's Causeway in the north. You also have the beautiful cliffs of Moher that are absolutely breathtaking. Yeah, so something we're going to look at? Okay. Well then let's get started because I'm really excited. I really love Ireland. Let me try to sell it for you. Okay, so the first things first, we're going to have to look at car rentals because in order to do Ireland right, you're going to want to do it via car. So, first question I have to ask you is, do you guys drive standard? Okay, she drives standard. You don't drive standard? Okay, not since you were a teenager. Okay, so we're 4 or 5 months out of this trip. We're going to plan this trip for May, okay? May works for you guys? Alright. So, you're going to have to try to learn standard, learn to drive it, be comfortable with it, try to just practice a bit more. The reason I say this is because over in Europe and Great Britain, a lot of the cars you come across are standard. They're not automatic. Automatic's like a luxury. And the reason why I talk about this is the car rental you're going to be using. It's going to be significantly cheaper to get it in standard than it is going to be to get it in automatic. You're looking at a difference of about $500. It's pretty significant. Yeah. And the other thing is you have to get comfortable with the fact that you're going to be sitting on the right side of the car, and you're going to be driving on the left side of the road, and you're going to be shifting with your left hand and not your right, so it can get a little nerve-wracking. My recommendation is, well, we'll get to this, we'll get to that. So yeah, that in terms of driving, make sure. The reason being is I want you both to be able to drive so one can take a break. Because if you're not used to driving on those roads, it can get quite stressful and it can wear you down. Trust me, I know from personal experience. Well, it's because the cars are so small and the roads are so narrow. Like, sometimes it feels like you got this much distance between your mirrors when you're passing people. The roads have no shoulders, really. There's, like, no room. A lot of these countries, and especially Great Britain, Ireland, they're so packed with people that they don't really have much room. Like we do here in North America with our massive roads. So the roads are very narrow, just big enough to fit, like I said, 2 cars there. Yeah, so for our car rental, we are going to go with standard to meet your budget. Okay. Now, again, I said we're looking at May. So the flights I'm going to look at for May for your 10 days, we're going to try to leave on a Thursday or a Saturday. We're not going to leave on a Friday. And we're going to try to come home on a Monday. Those are generally the cheaper days to fly and return. Yeah. Well, let's take a look here. Go to the site for you guys. Yeah, flights in May for Ireland are notoriously cheap for Canadians. So. Okay, so for this date. Okay, so we have 2 flights that are $400 per person return. That's taxes included. To Belfast. Here's the weird thing. It's actually more expensive to go to Dublin. And I want you guys to start your trip in Dublin. Okay? So if you guys aren't familiar, you're familiar with the situation in Ireland. The top or the north part of Ireland it belongs to Great Britain. So the currency is the pound. It's actually not the euro. The pound to our Canadian dollar is significantly more, so it's more expensive to be in the north. So we're going to narrow our time there to maybe 2, maybe 3 days, depending on what your guys' itinerary is looking like. But I want you guys to land in Dublin because this is where I was talking with driving. I think when you land in Dublin, you should be looking at staying in Dublin for a night before you drive. What I mean is, when you land at the airport, get a taxi or an Uber to your B&B, your hotel. I'm going to recommend the hotel that's right at the airport. It's actually pretty nice. And again, hotel and Airbnbs, or just bed and breakfast, which Ireland's notorious for, by the way. Sometimes they're a lot of the same price. It's just the romance of the B&Bs in Ireland because it's a B&B in Ireland. It's famous. There's a nice hotel right there. I think it's a Hilton. So just spend the night there. Go out, venture around Dublin. Just try to get your bearings because it's going to be a little strange. You're going to be about 6 hours ahead. So it might throw your clock off a bit. Relax that day. The next day, get a Uber or a cab ride to your car rental and then get your car. Drive around the parking lot for a bit if you've never driven a car like that. Again, right side of the car, left side of the road. Just get used to it and then drive to Belfast. Belfast is not that far from Dublin. It's like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. Go straight to Belfast. That's what I would recommend. Is this something you guys are looking to do? Yeah, I would 100% recommend it. A little side note. We are going to need to keep change, some euros and some pounds. I do think because the road between Dublin and Ireland, there's a toll for the road there, and I think it's €2. But I don't think they care if it's pounds or euros, even when you get into the north, which is pretty quickly. But let's look at car rentals for you guys first and foremost here. Okay, so we are going to look at, again, a car for your guys' budget. I want you guys to get an economy. I don't want you guys to get a mini because it could get pretty crowded. I would recommend bringing one big bag for the 2 of you and two travel carry-on bags. That should be enough for a 10-day trip, yeah. You can always keep whatever you don't in the car, so. Okay, so we're going to go with budget. And Dream Travels, we have discounts with budget and we have discounts with WestJet Air as well. So let's look at the car first. Okay, so what I found is a Suzuki Swift. Yeah. So it's an economy. It's a 4-door. It's a little bigger than a Mini. And I think let me just check here. Yeah, so you're looking at, with taxes in, about $670 Canadian. That's for the 10 days, or sorry, the 9 days. Because you guys are going to rest in Dublin, right? Before we get started with this Dublin So, actually, this flight is with WestJet. It's more expensive by $200 to land in Dublin than it is in Belfast, and I want to keep this budget of your guys alive, so I think I can. My friend at WestJet, Gil, can help us out here. Just give me a second here, sorry. Hi. Hi, may I speak to Gil, please, if he's in? Yeah, it's Dream Travel. Okay. Thanks. Yeah, he's putting me through. Just 1 second here. I'm pretty sure I can get this straightened out. It doesn't make sense that it's cheaper to fly into Belfast. Belfast is further. That's why it doesn't make sense to me. And it's got one. Belfast has one more stop. You go Toronto, Montreal, and then Belfast. Whereas Dublin is just Toronto and then Dublin. So I guess that could be the reason why it's cheap. Hi, Gil. Hi, it's Grock from, yeah, Dream Travel. Exactly. How are you doing? I'm not doing bad. I have a couple here that are looking to do a trip to Ireland, and I'm working with them on a budget here, and we're trying to get them to land in Dublin. Yes, this is May 9th. Yep, 3AW BXY. Yes, out of Winnipeg. Okay, so I'm trying to get them to land in Dublin on the 9th, and they're going to be flying out on the 19th. The flight to Belfast is actually cheaper, and they would rather land in Dublin. The Belfast flight is 3XY 29B. Yes. Okay. Yes, if just match the price would be perfect, actually. Thank you so much, Gil. All right. 1 second. Okay, yeah, I got a paper and pen. Just give me the code when you're ready. Perfect. Okay, yep, I'll apply this. Apply it right now, actually, while you're on the phone, just in case. Yes, okay, yeah, it worked. Thank you so much, Gil. Yes. Okay, yes, you have yourself a great day as well. All right, awesome, thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, so my guy at WestJet got us, he matched the price, so don't worry about that. The flight to Dublin's going to be the same as the place to Belfast. Yeah, we have a deal with budget, and we have a deal with WestJet here, so we have a little bit of pull, a little bit of leeway, so that worked out perfect. Okay, so the flights for you and your wife are going to be right now, we're looking at $1,000 roughly. That's going to be returned, both of you, 9th to the 19th. So back to the car. Okay, again, basically with taxes, looking at $700 for the car. Now it's asking me if you guys want insurance. Here's my deal. We can go through the insurance through budget, which I'm supposed to tell you guys to do, or you guys can actually get your own insurance through Blue Cross, which is cheaper. And it covers everything that the car insurance covers, but it's cheaper and it's more reliable. And it works also for medical issues as well. It's $50 per person. Just go to any private insurance company. Yeah, so let's just say $100 for the insurance. Okay, so now we're looking at about $800 for the car. There's one more thing I'm going to try to sell you on this budget car. When you travel abroad, you need SIM cards to put into your cell phone so you can use data and whatnot. Yeah, SIM cards are pretty cheap. What I would recommend for the two of you is a little Wi-Fi box that comes with these budget car rentals. You just put in your pocket, in the car, wherever you may be, because you're going to want to use your GPS to get around. Yeah, I would recommend that. You avoid messing with your phone, and sometimes you get ripped off with these SIM cards, or God forbid you get hacked or something, and that would be terrible. It would absolutely ruin your vacation. So I would recommend this little Wi-Fi box. It comes with the car. Like I said, she can carry it in her purse or in your pocket, and everywhere you go, you'll have internet access. As long as there's internet access, your Wi-Fi will connect. Can I interest you guys in that? It's $10 per day. Yeah, is that something you're interested in? Okay, so we'll add that on there, and that's $80. So right now, your budget, you're looking at about 1980 right now. That's with just the plane tickets and the car. Now, for your accommodations, I'm going to put a budget for about $110 to $120 per night, which is very achievable in May in Ireland. There's lots of B&Bs, lots of hotels, but we should be doing B&Bs. You really get the Irish experience then. You stay in a nice B&B, someone's home, and you get a nice breakfast in the morning. The Irish breakfasts are very famous. My God, I miss Irish breakfasts. Yeah, we should go that route. Yeah, okay. So, also, we're going to put a second driver on here, because I don't want you to have to do all the driving, Carol. It's going to be very stressful for you, and it might ruin the trip, so you guys both need to be able to drive. So if that's the case, it's $100 extra to add an extra driver, so we are going to go with that. Okay, so it's an extra $100. So now we're at $1,200. Okay, so again, you're going to pick your car up. What I recommend for that down day in Dublin is, again, just relax. Try to stay awake as long as you can, because you want to go to sleep. You'll want to sleep when you get there, because you guys are going to be landing at 6 a.m. But it's going to be midnight for you guys, like for your mental clock. So yeah, you're going to want to relax and try to stay up as long as you can. Try to stay up till at least 6 in the evening. And yeah, have a nice big long nap. And then the next day, make your way to Belfast. Okay, so let's just get into the next day. So again, we're looking at the Hilton, and the Hilton, right now for that day, the Hilton for 2 queen beds is $110 with taxes. Is that what we're going to book? Okay, so we're going to book that, so $110 with taxes. So now we're at $1310. That's just for the very first day, and that's your flights and your car. We're also going to need budget gas for this car. Yeah, it takes diesel. Most of these cars do over there. Gas is a little crazy right now. I'm going to say a budget of about maybe $100 every 2-3 days. Yeah, so we'll do the gas last, okay? But for now, let's just make our way out of Dublin. We're on a second day. So now you're leaving Dublin. Again, I don't know if you guys want to do any of the touristy things in Dublin. I think you should leave that for on the way back, because you're going to want to kill time in Dublin. You definitely should be checking out all the areas around Dublin, but on your way to Belfast is one of the most special places in Ireland that you definitely are going to want to check out. So you're going to want to stop at Newgrange on your way up to Belfast. It's an old ancient monument that actually predates the pyramids, and it predates Stonehenge. It's amazing. I didn't know about this place till I was there. It's very special. And let me just check the times it opens. So you guys are going to get out of your hotel, and you're going to get your breakfast in the morning. And it looks like this place opens at 9 a.m. So yeah, you guys will definitely be able to get down the road and stop and see this place. Give you guys at least 2 hours of this place. All in all, there isn't that much to see in terms of walking around and everything else. It's one of the quicker stops, but it is very special to see something like this. Like, you guys want to see something old and special. It doesn't get older than this, like literally. So definitely give that a stop and check that out. Okay, so make your way further to Stonehenge. Stonehenge. I got Stonehenge in my head. To Belfast. Those tickets are €5 a person, so roughly about $10 Canadian, $8 Canadian. I'm not sure if we want to do a budget for these kind of things, because you don't have to pay for a lot in Ireland, but to get access to this, yeah, it's about $10. Okay, yeah, so, we'll do that later. That's $20 for the two of you. Okay, so we'll make our way down to Belfast. Let me just... Okay, so center Belfast, there's a nice little pub that has a really good B&B on top of it. A really, really nice little Irish lady takes care of it. What's it called again? Oh, Belfast Inn. That's basically what it's called. So you're going to want to stay here tonight. This is what I recommend. You can check in here till about 1. There's only about 4 rooms. Let me just see if there's a room available. This is a really, yeah, there's room available. This is a really cozy spot. I think you guys will really enjoy this. Very romantic as well. And you can go downstairs and there's a pub there. You guys should know when you drive and you travel in Ireland, especially when you're towns and cities, you park your car on a curb. There's usually no parking spots. Yeah, because all the cars are small. You guys will see when you get there. But yeah. So you're going to check in this room. It's only $80 a night. Like I said, the shoulder seasons, the prices are going to be very, very nice. So $80 right there. So you're at 1400. Okay, now that you're in Belfast, there's quite a bit of things that you can see. So you guys can go for lunch and a pint at the Crown Liquor Saloon. That's one of the oldest pubs, I think one of the oldest pubs in all of Great Britain, Europe. Yeah, it's very, very cool, and the decoration's very, very old school. They make really, really good clubhouse sandwiches there, and you can get yourself a pint of Guinness. Okay, I probably should have went through this before when I talked about the pubs in Ireland. The Irish are drunk a lot. Not shit-faced, but the average Irish person consumes at least 2 to 3 pints of whatever beverage they drink per day. This is just the average work person. Pubs in Ireland are not like pubs here or bars here. They're like a social gathering place. In some these little towns you go to, like there was a little place in Dublin, a pub we went to in Dublin, and there was a post office and they had like a little mini supermarket there, and it's a meeting place. So the average Irish person, goes to work, and at lunchtime they go to a pub, they have a pint, and they'll get a sandwich and talk with other people that are on lunch breaks, friends and whatnot, bartenders. They'll go back to work, and they may or may not, after work, meet up at the pub again to discuss their day with their friends that are also off at the same time. And they'll go home for supper, and in some cases they'll go back out that evening, and then if they didn't get a chance after work, then you talk to their friends, they'll drink another pint. It's a culture thing, so I would recommend embracing it. Obviously don't get shit-faced and go driving, but if you're staying this night in Belfast, by all means have a pint here and there. It won't hurt you, but there's something special about drinking a pint in that place because it's so old and so regal looking, and it's very neat. It's haunted too, which is kind of neat. Yeah, so you have that. Another big thing you can do first thing in the morning, I would recommend. Go to Titanic Belfast. Yeah, it's a museum about the Titanic, which was built in Belfast. There's a lot of little cool memorabilia in there, I guess you could say, like old artifacts, and there's a lot of like mechanical rides, and the shipyards there. I think it's built right at this shipyard. And there's a lot to see and do there if that interests you. It's a quite interesting part of history, especially in Belfast. And the other big thing I would recommend you guys do for sure, we should probably book that right now if we can. Titanic, you could just show up there. It's like in a museum. You don't need to pre-book anything in terms of that. What I want you guys to do is take a black cab tour. What those are is a black cab will pick you up, and it'll drive you to all the areas around Belfast where there were significant events that occurred with the IRA. All those, the Troubles they call them. Basically, it was a civil war in Ireland that went on for hundreds of years because of the occupation of England in the north. I think they got their independence, and the rest of the entire island minus the north, and just after the First World War, I believe. But there was a lot of guerrilla warfare and attacks on both sides of the country from each other, and they have a lot of these really cool murals and artwork. And these murals of these IRA like martyrs, heroes to the people of Ireland, and they have them all painted on these buildings. It's really, really cool, and it's unique. And these black cab tour guides, they're cab drivers, but they also do these tours. They'll give you all that information you want. Take you to graveyards, where these famous IRA people have died. And it's a really, really interesting thing. It's a really, really interesting history, a part of the island that's really glad it's over, sort of deal. So we should book those now. Okay, so there is a tour at 3 p.m., which it should be more than enough time for you guys to make it there. Again, this day is going to be consisting of you guys are stopping at the monument, obviously outside of Dublin. That's going to take you 2 hours, another hour to get to Belfast. You can't get in your room until 1, so I recommend doing Titanic then. Again, Titanic maybe 2 hours. It would take you to 1. You would go and you check into your B&B, and then you would go and meet up or get picked up for this. I think you get picked up. Yeah, you get picked up. So he would actually come and pick you up. And this tour is an hour and a half. And then you do the black cab tour. Now you're looking at about 5, 6 in the evening. I would go to another pub, get a bite, get something to eat. You shouldn't be looking at going to restaurants, fine dining restaurants while you're in Ireland. Really, really embrace this pub life, and you'll meet some great people this way as well, and you'll have a blast. Young people like yourself definitely have a blast. I know we did. It was a great time, and the food actually is not that bad. Yeah, so yeah, you get your food, and the next day you'll make your. I think it's going to be your last day in the north, but there's a lot to see the next day. So, am I good to book this for 3 o'clock? Okay, these book up quickly, so we want to do this now. We're going to go through TripAdvisor. So 2 people, black cab tour. 50 euros each, so we're looking at about $130, $140. Again, worth it though. So book that. Okay. So right now you're at $15.20, and that's, again, I think I'll make a budget for food and everything at the end of this. But right now we're at $15.20. Okay, so our next day here. So what we're going to do this next day, the next morning, you guys are going to leave Belfast. You guys are Game of Thrones fans? You are, okay. So we're going to go to Downpatrick County, and you're going to go and see the site where Winterfell was filmed in the very first episode of the show. Again, a free admission here, unless you do the archery. I think the archery, and you can actually do a driving tour where they go through all these little sites along the grounds where they filmed. But really, there's not much more to see other than the castle itself. And don't expect to see the Winterfell Castle. It's just one of the towers, but it's still the area where they film all the archery is all accurate, and it's all there. You'll see when you get there. Yeah, I get the bridge where Brienne and Jaime fight is also there. From there, you guys are going to make your way. Again, another free thing. You guys are going to make your way to the Dark Hedges. It's where they film the King's Road scenes. Yeah, you guys are going to spend your time there, a half hour, just pictures, nice pictures you can get of the two of you on the road. It's a pretty dead road. Yeah, a very famous place. You'll know when you see it, and it's very, very basic, bitch, for Instagram pictures. But I mean, it is what it is. If you're a fan of the show, you should be seeing it. Up next is going to be your biggest thing of the day. You're going to go and see the Giant's Causeway. It's on a causeway coast. What's really interesting about this, if you don't, okay, so it's like lava tubes on the very coast of the north facing Scotland. You can actually see Scotland from there. When you stand on the very top of these tubes and you look, it looks like it's a sunken bridge going directly to Scotland. Yeah, there's like an Irish folklore about some giant that got chased over there. And he destroyed the bridge, Finn Magoo or something, I can't remember. But you guys are going to have to pay for parking here. It's free to walk to, but you're going to have to pay for parking. So that's about the only thing. There's a gift shop and everything else there too. It's a hike to get down there, so give yourself at least 2 to 3 hours here because there's a lot to see down there. A lot of good pictures you can take. It's very unique. The only place I've seen lava tubes like this was in Iceland. So yeah, that's going to be your big thing for the day. So that's free, okay? Hold on a second here. And that's just like one of the nice things about when places like this, Iceland's like this as well. You mostly just gotta pay for your parking. A lot of it's free. You could just walk to. I don't even think we paid for the parking when we were at Giant's Causeway, if I'm being completely honest. I don't think we did, because I couldn't find a place to pay. I think we found out afterwards you have to pay online, and it's another situation where you needed Wi-Fi or internet to do that. So we did have it, but I just didn't know where to go, so we didn't pay, and luckily we didn't get a ticket. Got a ticket doing that in Iceland though, so I don't want to do that too much. Okay, on your way to Derry, you're going to be staying in a place called Londonderry. It's a nice regal walled-in city. It's very interesting, and honestly, when you go for your breakfast in the morning or your supper in the evening, it's really nice to walk along those, because you can walk along the entire wall around the city of Derry. Yeah, that show Netflix, Derry Girls. It's filmed there. It's based around there. Yeah. So if you've seen that, you've seen the city of Derry. I forgot about that. But on your way there's also a bridge. I can't remember what it's called. Again, it's free, just the parking you gotta pay for. You guys can't miss it. It's just right along the coast. National Trust something it's called bridge. And it's just a big suspension bridge. It's not for the faint of heart. It's very high. But again, it's you guys like a little bit of adventure. That's definitely an adventure for you guys. So yeah, definitely stop by that on your way to Derry. Okay, so in Derry, we're going to be staying at a Comfort Inn. It's right on the outskirts of Derry, and it's going to be easier to get around instead of driving through those little narrow streets, because Derry's an old town, and it can be kind of stressful driving through those little corridors. So this is right on the outskirts. It's right next to the big suspension bridge. So this is what I would recommend for a Derry stay. Again, the bigger towns, bigger cities, don't be too upset with staying in hotels. The B&Bs in the little towns, the little villages, those are the real special ones. So this one also, I can see already that it's on sale, which is why I looked at it. Again, this one's $80 Canadian a night. Okay, so you're looking at about $100. So we'll do this. This is a Comfort Inn, sorry. So now we're at $16.20. Okay, so this next part of the trip is a decision you guys need to make, because again, you guys are on your budget. We're 4 days in now. Yeah, this is the 4th day. There's a lot to see in the north. There's beauty, there's a lot of national parks and everything else. In terms of the main attractions you want to see, that's south of where Derry is. So instead of backtracking all the way through Dublin, which you can do, I would recommend driving through all those nice counties and driving directly from Derry to Galway. Now this is a 4-hour drive, and if you guys have never driven these roads, I've told you guys, this is what I wanted you guys to be able to drive. It can get very stressful. I did it alone. My fiance didn't get her license for this trip, or she didn't get put on the car, sorry. So I was the driver, and I white-knuckled it all the way from Derry all the way to Galway. And it really ruined my Galway experience because I was so exhausted. And it's, again, I don't want to make you guys afraid of driving there. It's not that big a deal, but like I said, the narrow roads and there's no shoulders. It's just like rock fences all the way there. It can get very stressful. You're going just to the speed limit and people are flying by you. You feel like you're holding up traffic. But once you get to Galway, everything you're going to want to see in the next few days is right there. So I would recommend doing this drive. If you guys had more time in Ireland, obviously we could do all the other stops in the north. But for your time frame, I really want you guys down in Galway for this next day. Is that something you guys want to do? It is, okay. Alright, so you guys will be going to Galway. If you guys leave Derry early enough, get yourself some breakfast, a nice Irish breakfast. Again, go for a nice walk on the wall. That's what we did our last day there. Go to Galway. Galway now is a special little town. It's a huge backpacker's paradise. It's a really, really, really party little town. You guys are definitely going to want to go to Quay Street. Yeah, you got all this live music and just pub ambience, and there's parties, and there's nice food, and you'll meet so many people from all over the world that are there backpacking, and yeah, there's really massive hostels there as well. Obviously, you know Galway's. It's famous. It's got songs. You know, Steve Roll, Ed Sheeran have songs. Galway Girl. It's beautiful. It's old. You know, you can go for nice walks on the piers and everything, and you guys will really, really enjoy yourself. Make sure you like spend the day there. Like that's what I want you guys to drive in turn, so you're not wiped when you get there, and then just spend the whole day. I guarantee you guys will have a blast. You know, where you guys are gonna be staying is like it's a row of B&Bs. This is Alice's B&B. Where you guys will stay, that's where we stayed. $90 a night, so you're looking at about 110. They do have a breakfast in the morning you gotta pay for, but it's a massive buffet breakfast, and I think you guys will really love it. And it's a short walk to Quay Street from there, and so I would recommend parking the car, checking in, and then just walking to Quay Street, getting pints at different pubs along the street, grabbing some street food, and just enjoying the live music and have fun, talk with people. There's nice little tour shops there. I got a really nice salt and pepper hat there when I was there. It was really, really nice. It was handmade, and yeah, you guys, this would be one of the highlights in terms of town hopping or touring a little town that you'll get in Ireland for sure. Galway was one of my favorite little places, so yeah, we're definitely going to be doing that for this day, so I'll book you guys in for this. So you're looking at about 110, so now we are at 1720, so you guys have a budget of 5,000, but you wanted to spend 4. We're right on budget for that 4 even. So you could splurge a little bit, but we'll look at that towards the end. You guys, again, it could be something like maybe a car upgrade, or we'll look at it later. Alright, so the next day is one of my highlights of my trip, and it'll probably be the highlight of yours as well. You're going to be spending most of the day, I want to say, you want to give yourself 4 to 5 hours, because it's a lot of walking. And it's some of the most breathtaking scenery you'll ever see in your entire life. You're going to be spending the day at cliffs of Moher on the coast, not that far from Galway. So again, Game of Thrones. This is shown in Game of Thrones. It's shown in a lot of movies. I can't remember them all. It was the scene shown when they showed Old Town in Game of Thrones, but it's like, again, it's been in a ton of movies. You'll notice it a lot more. Think of cliffs that are as tall as like the Empire State Building, and you can walk along like literally the edge of them if you have the nerve to do so. Me and my fiance did. The first half of the cliffs are fenced in terms of like how close to the edge you can go. But if you go further down where the path ends, everyone goes around that farmer's gate, and you can just walk along the side. There's no paths, you're just walking on the grass. What I would recommend for the two of you, this is what my fiance did, I would recommend getting a backpack with a blanket or a big towel. Get yourself a couple sandwiches. You can get them at the shop there. They have a little restaurant and everything there, gift shop. And a couple drinks, and just go and lay on the edge of those cliffs and have yourself a nice lunch. That's what we did. It was a memory I think I'll have forever. It was a clear, warm Irish day, unusual for May, and I could see for miles out into the Atlantic. It's a memory I'll have forever, and I would really love for you guys to experience something like that. Hopefully the weather is as nice as it was for us. You can just lay there, hear the wind, and you can hear the waves way down below. You can hear the sheep behind you. It's so nice, and it's like we laid there, and I think we took like a 15-20 minute nap. We weren't laying like right beside the cliffs we were gonna roll off. No, we were laying like with our feet facing them quite a ways away from the edge, but it's an experience for sure. But again, you're just gonna be paying for parking here, and your parking it's €5. So I mean, it's nothing. Yeah, so this is going to be the majority of your day. We're going to be driving again, quite a bit. Now, here's the deal with your drives you guys are going to be doing. This is including the Derry to Galway drive as well. You're going to be passing a ton of little towns. Like, you blink and you miss the little towns, and they all have these little pubs in them. by all means, take a break. You don't have to get drunk. You don't even have to get a drink. Just stop and, take a break for your feet, your legs, or stretch your back. And look at these pubs. They're so unique, and they have all their own characters. Like, you don't know what an Irish pub is until you've been in an actual Irish pub in Ireland. They have all sorts of little trinkets hanging up in the ceilings and everything. There's a story to everything. And there's people there that have known each other since they were children, and they're all old. Some of them are old, and they've known each other since, like, just after the Second World War. Like, it's a different culture. You need to see it for sure. So these drives, when you're passing these little towns, by all means, stop. A lot of times you'll stop when you have to gas up. And, just walk over to the pub next door or across the street, or just, like I said, these little towns are like a street long sometimes. And, it'll enhance your trip, I think. Yeah. So up next, you guys are going to be making your way from Cliffs of Moher. And you're going to be driving through the Cork and Kerry mountain areas. You're going to be staying... Actually, let's see what we can do about this. You know what I'm thinking? Maybe, because I don't want you guys to rush from Galway, from the Cliffs of Moher all the way to Cork. I think you guys should spend a night in Killarney. You ever hear the Christmas song, Christmas in Killarney? It's a little town. It's a little town in Ireland. And it's like their Banff, Jasper, Aspen, if you will. It's like their vacation, like mountainous vacation area. They call them mountains, but really they're like big hills, like highlands. If you've ever been to Scotland or near to Scotland, you'll see highlands. That's pretty much what these mountains are in Killarney. But there's a lot to see. There are a lot of little hikes and everything. And again, we haven't even gone through all the castles you'll see along the way, like castle tours. Again, a lot of these castles are free to go to. Some of them are tolls, like €5, and it's a quick little half hour. The Killarney Castle, for example, there's a castle in Killarney you can go and see. It's just right there on the outskirts of the city. It's pretty interesting. But yeah, you can relax. You can go for a hike to a waterfall there. Just kind of give yourself a different Ireland experience than what you've been doing up to this point. So yeah, I would recommend staying in Killarney. When I was there last, I stayed at this hotel. It's called Alpine Hotel. And there was a really nice little lady there who told her I was Canadian, and she was all excited about going to Canada one day and visiting it and going to Newfoundland. And I told her, lady, you're in Newfoundland already. This is pretty much the same thing. You want to go out west, go see the Rocky Mountains and such. And she was so nice. She upgraded us, actually. And she gave us the honeymoon suite. Came with a hot tub, a massive bed, everything. It was so nice of her. And the town itself is very charming. Again, you're going to get that feeling of like a Banff, Jasper, or Aspen kind of thing. So, yeah, definitely. You guys should definitely look at that. Is that what you guys... Yeah, okay. It's relaxing. We'll do Cork the next day. So, okay. So this is 110 for this one. So you're looking at about 120. So now we're at 1840 for the budget. Okay. So the next day we're going to be staying at Cork. Okay, so this next day is pretty exciting. You're going to be staying at Cork, but before you check into Cork, Cork's a very industrial little town, city in Ireland. Again, beautiful scenery in the Cork and Kerry Mountains. That whole drive is very nice. You're going to be going to Blarney Castle, which is very unique in Ireland. And you've heard of Blarney Castle? Yes, it's where you kiss the Blarney Stone. It's at Blarney Castle. Basically, it's like a lore kind of thing, or like a folklore thing. If you kiss the Blarney Stone at Blarney Castle, you'll find good fortune, good luck. So make sure you get there early, because it does get quite packed. I don't know how the kissing is with COVID now. I don't know, if it's back to normal, maybe. Basically, you go and you tour the castle, and I can't remember. It's something like, again, €5. It's not that expensive to tour these castles. And you get to the very top. That's where the stone is, and they'll actually have someone there on a fall arrest holding you upside down. You have to kiss it upside down, backwards. And yeah, it's supposed to bring you good luck, but it's a very famous castle in Ireland. It's definitely a must stop, so you'll be stopping there. And you'll be staying that night in Cork. Now, at this point in the trip, you're at day 7. You're gonna start to get a little worn down and everything else. So the driving itself. So got a comfortable downtown bed and breakfast. It's like an apartment. Actually, when I stayed there, 34th Street something. Oh, here it is. It's like an apartment right downtown Cork, and you can actually just walk out and get yourself food in a pub. There's a really, really old and neat pub in Cork that you're gonna want to check out. I don't know how it is for food, but it's a very, very fun pub. It's a really, really nice old pub from the late 1800s. It's called Sin E. Really, really fun live music. Really, really cool looking place. It's 2 stories. It's got old like chimneys that are, out of commission, obviously, and like, it's repainted over. It's very, very. How do I say this? It's very, very hipsterish for Ireland, anyway, and very unique. Nice old building. Very, very cozy. Remember drinking a couple Guinnesses on the top floor, looking out the window in this very old, cramped-in building, and hearing like live music downstairs, and it felt very, very relaxing. Another thing that's cool, or a funny story I have about Sin E is I was going downstairs to get my second Guinness of the evening. The pubs in Ireland, by the way, guys, don't stay open very long. 11:30 during the weekdays, 12:30 on the weekends. It's not like a bar here in North America. But I remember I was going down there and I was waiting for my drink, and I wanted to take a picture of the bar. It's such a cool looking bar, all the decorations and everything they have up there, and they had a Gaelic hockey stick up there, which is a big national sport of theirs. And I remember I got my phone and I took a picture, and I didn't realize my flash was on. And I remember this big flash went off, and everybody, there was like 30 people at the bar, they all turned and looked at me. It was so fucking embarrassing. Oh man, they must make this dumb fucking Canadian. But yeah, very, very fun place, and definitely worth checking out for sure. Yeah, I don't know about food. I think we ate ribs and a burger at a place just down the street. I'm not actually sure what it is. Like, we'll do a food budget and everything for you guys at the very end here. You guys are really, really on budget right now, so. Okay, so Cork, you're done with Cork. So now you're going to make your way, your next night you're going to be spending in Kilkenny. Yeah, just like the beer, yes. On your way there, one of the most picturesque places in Ireland you're going to come across, you're definitely going to check out, and that's Cashel Rock. Rock of Cashel, it's called. It's in a town called Cashel. It's an old monastery, an ancient old monastery, I think from like, God, I'm not even sure, like the 1500s or something. It's old, like it's all decrepit, and it's ruins basically. But you'll see the pictures if you Google Ireland. It's one of the most picturesque pictures. It's this nice little monastery ruins on a hill with little sheep all around it, and there's ruins across the road as well you can walk to and actually get that exact picture if you'd like. And again, it's like €5-6 to get inside. Really, really, really cool, really interesting. There's an old graveyard there and everything else. I remember it was raining lightly when we were there, and it was so nice. It was one of the highlights for sure of our trip. And again, towards the end of this trip, you are starting to get tired. You've been in Ireland for a week now. You're starting to look at the finish line, and I can't blame you, because it starts to wear on you for sure. But keep going. There's a lot of fun things we're going to see still. So after you stay there, you're going to make your way over to Kilkenny, and you're going to spend the night there. I never stayed at Kilkenny. I actually had to stay at Cashel Rock. When we got to... Sorry, I had to stay at Cashel, not Cashel Rock. We got to Cashel Rock. We literally missed the gate by 10 minutes. It closed for the last guests. And I was like, man, this is one of the reasons, like, one of the main things to see in Ireland. Like, I don't want to miss this. And so I was like, well, maybe we just won't spend the night in Kilkenny. We'll spend it in Cashel. And that's just one of the nice things about these spur of the moment trips. We we called our B&B. We said we can't make it outside Kilkenny. They're like, sorry, you're gonna have to pay anyway. We're like, okay, fine. And we just stayed in another B&B right there in Cashel, and it was so romantic because it was raining nicely. We went to a pub and played darts with people, and had a pint and a sandwich at night, and got back to the hotel room. And it was raining nicely. We had the window open, and yeah, we had a really good romantic night. But it was such a nice little B&B. And in the morning we had our Irish breakfast. And I remember the lady who runs the B&B was telling us that there's a woman that's been staying there for a year and a half, and she comes from a very, very wealthy family, and they're paying for her to stay there. Like, her family's paying for her to stay there, but she's kind of crazy, and her family doesn't want anything to do with her. So this is these little stories you'll come across. This woman just living in a B&B, right? But yeah, we never did stay in Kilkenny. We passed through and we did the Kilkenny Castle, which is what you guys are going to do. But let's book you a place at Kilkenny. So this B&B's just in a little, it's got no name. It's a little farm outside of Kilkenny. It's got 5 stars. And this one charges $120 a night, breakfast included though. So you'll get your breakfast as well. So, okay. We're now in 1960. Okay, so this is the next day. You're going to be staying at Kilkenny. Again, explore the little town. It's a regal, like, medieval little town. It's one of the most medieval looking little towns you'll find in Ireland, I think. Like, Londonderry was pretty close, but this one for sure beats it. You're going to want to see the castle. It's a very impressive, massive castle. Try to get there early to try to beat the lines. I think from here... So, okay, from here, you're going to do the Kilkenny Castle. You're going to explore the town. You guys are on day 8, so we're getting close here. We're going to make your way over towards Dublin, but on your way there, you're going to stop at Glendalough National Park, and you're going to look at the old Glendalough Monastery, which is crazy. There's a little church there called Kevin's Kitchen. It's because it looks like a little tiny kitchen, but it's actually a church made of stone. It's like 1,000 years old. You're going to want to stop and see that and hike all around it. There's a little archer tower there where the monks or priests used to defend themselves against people. There's a lot of old cool things to see there, and it's all among the hills. Imagine being in like a Banff and seeing these old ruins sticking out of the side of the mountains. It's really unique, and it's really beautiful scenery as well. So you're definitely going to want to stop, and it's kind of a detour on the way to Dublin. So go and check that out. Give yourself 3 to 4 hours there. There's lots there. Again, there's restaurants and whatnot there if you get hungry, and you're not going to find much for pubs there. But yeah, it's free. Just parking you're going to be paying for. Obviously, if you want to buy something at the restaurant and whatnot, you can. But I think we never did. Okay, so now the next day. You're on day 9 and you're flying out the next day. So what you're going to do is I'm going to book you in. This is actually a hotel. Holiday Inn Express. It's right downtown Dublin. It's right on the same street as Jameson Brewery, which is someplace you should be checking out. So this room is going to cost you guys... This is going to be $110 a night. So the tax is roughly $130 we're looking at. So now we're at 2030, the budget right now. Okay, so this day in Ireland, or Dublin, whatever you didn't get done the first day, again, you guys could have done this on the first day if you want. Obviously, you've gone through the things you can do in Dublin, and you guys for sure, either that first day you're there or this day for sure, you guys should be checking out the Jameson Brewery. Now, I always tell people to check out the Jameson Brewery over the Guinness, St. James Gate, the Guinness Brewery, because the Guinness Brewery is really awesome if you're a big fan of Guinness like I am. You know, they got nice little exhibitions in there and everything else, but if you're going to actually see something be made, you're not actually going to see Guinness brewed there. It's made on the premises, but it's not actually made there for you to see. Like I said, it's mostly a museum, the Guinness Brewery House, but Jameson Brewery House, the whiskey. Obviously, you know Jameson whiskey. Yeah, it's my favorite too. They actually brew it there, and you get live samples. You can get shit-faced there if you take all the samples. get a little tiny pint, little mini pint of Guinness too. I guess they give you a little taste, give you swirl it in your mouth and whatnot. But I would say Jameson for sure over Guinness. But if you could do both, definitely do that. Give each about 2 hours. You're about 2 blocks away. I believe it's 2 blocks away. 4 blocks away. My bad. You're 4 blocks away from the Temple Bar district. The Temple Bar is the most famous bar in Ireland in terms of pictures and tourism. It's always standing room in there, man. The 2 times we were there, we couldn't get a seat. It's so busy. The actual Temple Bar itself. But there's a ton of pubs there. It's a lot like Way Street in Galway, that whole Temple Bar district. It's all music, live music. Gogarty's is right next door, and I think that's where we spend most of our time. If it's a really hot day, you're not really feeling a beer, try Balmer's apple cider. It's an Irish apple cider. Get it in a glass of ice, just a glass filled with ice, and the bottle, and then just pour it yourself. It's so refreshing on a cold day, a really hot day, and it was for the one day for us there. It was delicious. But yeah, there's a lot of nice pubs and restaurants right there in the Temple Bar district area. Definitely check that out. Again, Trinity College, if you want to make the trip out there, you're probably going to have to take a bus to get out there. That nice little, I can't say nice little because that water's all dirty right there, but that whole area with all the bridges right there, it separates the Temple Bar from where your hotel's going to be at. It's right there as well. But yeah, for the most part, yeah. Decide what you want to do in Dublin. Those are some really good ideas. Again, I would recommend Jameson Brewery, and I would recommend the Temple Bar District for sure for your day in Dublin, whether it be the first or the last. So, the next day, you guys will be dropping your car off. Your flight leaves at 11 a.m. So drop your car off at 7 a.m. They'll have shuttles going back and forth. Again, you guys have traveled internationally before. Okay, try to be there at least 3 hours before your flight leaves. Drop the car off. Have you guys ever rented a car abroad? No? Okay, so my advice is take pictures of the car and video of it all around, inside, everything, all the damage you find when you get the car. Take pictures of it in case you try to lay the blame on you. Some of them are really sleazy. We got one in Iceland that was like that. But okay, so the grand total with your flights, your hotels, your car rental, we're at $2,030 now. We're gonna have to count gas, so I'm gonna say be generous and say $500. So we're looking at $2,500 now. We're gonna look at food. Again, I'm gonna be generous. I'm gonna say $300, maybe $400. So now we are at $2,900. Let's say. Okay, shopping expenses, everything else, tourism stuff, things along that nature. Let's say $500. So now we are at $3,400. That's not including your gas to get to Winnipeg as well as your hotels there. So, all that other stuff considered, I would say roughly $4,000. We are right on budget. Yeah. I'd say yeah. Obviously, that's not going to be on what I'm going to be charging you for. It's just the stuff we just went over in Dublin that we all booked. Again, which I said was the 2030. So today, owing with everything you've had, $2,400 is your total for today, and this trip is planned and paid for. With your flights leaving on the 9th of May and returning on the 19th. Yes. Okay, absolutely. I'll take this here before I take your payment here. I got some pamphlets for you guys. Look these over. Again, it talks about the insurances for the cars and everything else. But again, I'm not saying anything, but go to Blue Cross instead. There's information there, including my card. I have a card here. Oh, I don't have a card, but it's in the pamphlets. You guys give me a call anytime. Like, seriously, anytime if you guys are over there, come May and something happened, you guys can let me know. You gotta give me a call, I'll see what I can do. So, okay, just put your credit card information in here. I really think you guys are gonna love this trip, I'm telling you right now. Okay, okay, yeah, it went through. You guys are good to go. Can I get an email? That's one word. Okay. .com.ca. .com. All right. All right. I emailed you the receipt. Just check your phone. Make sure you got it. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I really hope this experience was good for you guys, and the itinerary we came up with, I think for 10 days it's a lot, but I think you guys will do just fine. Again, practice driving standard. Practice driving standard. Make an effort to try every day, okay? Just get used to it, because you're gonna have to do it, and like I said, on the opposite side of the road. And don't be too nervous. Don't let that psych you out. You'll be fine. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yes. You guys have yourself a great day as well. Thanks for stopping by. Dream Travel. Yeah. Oh, for sure. You guys can leave me a review if you want. Thank you very much. All right. Okay. You guys have a great day. Bye.